Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for September 25th, 2022. So, I'm tired. I just, clearly what hell, I just took a shower. I had to clean my guest bedroom because my mom is coming to stay next weekend, or the coming weekend, because my dad is going hunting. And yeah, then I just kind of did that. And then I also cleaned out part of my garage. I had a lot of cardboard and trash to get rid of. So I got through a lot of stuff and swept out the garage and I reorganized some of the stuff. So nothing was done in here, but I definitely need to do, I got part of it done in there. I have not done the bookshelf in there, so I will give you an update on that maybe next weekend if I can get the top on that bookcase that's in there. I don't want to take that apart or take everything off right now. I got it cleaned for my mom. That's as good as it's gonna get. So, other than that, this was a very quiet week at work, very boring in some ways. My boss took off on vacation, didn't even tell me he was going, so I was going to ask him for some more work, and there's nobody to ask, so it was boring on Friday after that. Anyway, but I mean, I did stuff, I just did stuff I didn't want to do. But anyway, I've made a lot of progress, as I said. The parts room that I've worked, have been working on all year is almost done. I think everything's almost in place. It's gone really well. So I think now I'm trying to get into the groove of doing other things. And I don't think he's kind of realized that sometimes I need more work. Anyway, we'll see. Anyway, so I'll talk to them when he gets back. But other than that, yeah, nothing else. I mean, I haven't done anything else. I do have, just in case, people are mentioning that, I do buy a lot of books, and I do try to get rid of some. I have 5 bags of books to take to the used bookstore to see if they'll take credit. And then if they don't take it, then I'll take it to the library bookstore so that I'll donate it there. So I have books to take. It's just, they're right now only doing the buying on the weekend. And this weekend, I don't have time this weekend. So maybe next weekend or the weekend after, but I have them all bagged up, ready to go. So progress in that. And then, so the next, after my mom is here next weekend, then the weekend after, I will probably start working in here on trying to reorganize my bookshelf. So hopefully I will try to film some of that, but we'll see how that goes. Again, I'm not very good. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that's kind of it. So, I did have my Victober video go up yesterday. So the reads that I think I'm going to do in October, I'm going to have another TBR video for all the possibilities of all the standalones or a few series, and some spooky books, some just are gothic, some are just ones I want to read. And hopefully you guys will watch that. They'll come out in the next couple days. So anyway, beyond that, let's talk about the books that I read, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So, this is definitely the week of finishing or catching up on series. The first one I'm going to show you is a catch-up, just because it was a novella or a short story that I did not know about until last week. So I read that because it was really short. And then the other 3 books I finished this week were series enders. So I did really good on my series September. Again, that's put on by Chris at Books and Jams and Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand. And I've been participating in doing series all year, but this month I was really trying to finish a lot of series. So I knew one of the weeks I would probably try to push out as many of the series enders as I could, and this was the week. So the first book I read on Sunday was In Mercy Reign by Shannon McGuire. So this is part of the Wayward Children series. I think is it 7.5? 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7.5. So this is following Jack. So this is kind of it was an interesting look back on Jack when she is in the moors in the beginning. And I did like this. This didn't go how I thought it would. It's really short. I think it's like 30 pages, 32 pages, I think. So it was really a fun little journey back to learn more about Jack, which I really enjoy. Jack is one of the characters I really enjoyed in this series overall. So it was nice to see part of her story that we hadn't fully gotten before. So I thought it was really fun, and I'm just glad that I learned about that, and because it just came out in August and I didn't know anything about it. Oh, it's 36 pages. Anyway, so I did read that on Sunday. So I really enjoyed that. So I'm still caught up on the Wayward Children series, even though I didn't know there was a short story out. So anyway, I got that and read that. Then I read The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers. This is the last book in the Wayfarer series. So this I listened to an audio from the library by Rachel Delude, and really enjoyed the audiobook. I think she did really well. This was one of those ones where I started it physically and I read about 20 pages and I'm like, I don't know about this. And so I got the library had the audiobook available. So I took that, and then work, because it was so slow, I was able to, I wasn't doing things that needed my mind too much. So I did listen to half of it or a third of it on one day and really got into it and really enjoyed it. And then I finished it on Thursday. This one surprised me a lot because it has different species and things who are going to this kind of rest stop in the middle of jumps in the soul, or in the, in the universe, whatever they go, when they travel through those, the travel wormholes, I don't know what they call them. I can't remember what they called them from the first book and from us, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. They do like, they make tunnels of some sort, traveling so they can travel from place to place. And this is like a rest stop in between before making another jump to a different tunnel, I think is how it goes. And so when these people are at I think it's the five hop one stop, we get to know the ones who run it, and then we see all those who are stuck there when some kind of a catastrophe happens and they are stuck there for a few days. So it was really good. I liked it's very character work. It's mostly the characters just interacting with each other and dealing with their prejudices and things that their species worries about and not the other ones, or how they're connected to the universe and the whole galactic, collective, I think it is. I don't remember what that GC is. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, so how they all, what they do for a living and how they interact. And then there was even a part here I totally teared up at. She got me when something happens, and I did not expect it. And it was just these characters, you just fall in love with them, I think. And I think it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I think it was a great addition to the series after I got into it. It just took me a little bit to get into it. And the audiobook was really good. So I am glad I got this one. I finished this series. I've been meaning to read this since I got the paperback. I think I got it last year. So, but I finished the series. Yay. Maybe it was this year. I don't remember. Whatever it is, I got this and I've read it. So yay for finishing that series. Then Tia and I, from Tia and All the Books, we've been reading the Hidden Legacy series this year by Alona Andrews, and Ruby Fever came out at the end of August, and so it was our September book, and we read this week, and I'm so glad we read the whole series this year and had a really good time with it. I think overall it was a fun series. There's parts of it I liked better than the Kate Daniels series, and then there's parts of it I liked the Kate Daniels series a little bit more for different urban fantasy tropes and things like that. But this is the last book in the second set of trilogies following the second sister, Catalina. And this one was just on. It was just going. You could tell it was the last book because there's so many things being revealed. But they left a couple things open, so I'm hoping that the third sister, Arabella, is either going to get at least one book, if not her trilogy. But they don't have any plans right now to continue in this series, but they left so many things open and questioned still that I think that they could easily come back to this world at some point. So I'm hoping that they will, just because I would like to have a book from Arabella's perspective, just because it's just fun. I like this. The Baylor family has been really great. Again, this is urban fantasy, and we're the first part of the series follows Nevada, and they run a private detective agency, and she is pulled in on a very dangerous job that has to do with magic users, because magic has been prevalent. This is alternate history Houston, where magic has been prevalent in the world since the 1800s, and she is set to bring in a prime music, a magic user, which is the top magic user, and then it kind of goes from there. Things go wrong in that first series, and then, as I said, this is in the second series where we're following the second sister, and she has her own things to deal with and things she makes happen and does with her magic. And so I've enjoyed this series. I really enjoyed reading this with Tia, and I'm glad we are going to continue on with another Alona Andrews series here pretty soon. So, but I'm glad I got to finish this series, and we read it in time with it releasing, so that worked out really well, and I'm really glad we got to this, and I'm glad we finished it. I'm really looking forward to when a couple years when I'm going to reread this series. I think there'll be even more things I catch in the first couple books that I didn't catch that come into play at the end of the books. So it'll be good. Anyway, it was really great. It was a great urban fantasy. I definitely recommend the Hidden Legacy series. And then yesterday I was in kind of a weird mood. Probably because I knew I wanted to finish another book, and I just put it off, and I had to go to the library because I had I just had randomly asked for some comics, and I just wanted to read them. So I got all of the Sarah Anderson, Sarah's Scribbles collections that my library had. I think there's 4 only, but maybe I'm missing one. I'm not quite sure. But I got Adult is a Myth, Big Mushy Happy Lump, Herding Cats, and Oddball. And so these are just, they're so cute. Her pictures are just hilarious, her comics. And I just was feeling in the mood for this. And I do own her Fangs, which I just adore, which is about a werewolf and a vampire falling in love. But these are just like real, like everyday life, talking about anxiety, depression, but also just everyday little feeling odd and weird because you're a nerd or not, you know, or you have certain fandoms and other people don't. It's just, there's like little things, and it's mostly just daily stuff or life stuff. So it was just cute. I don't know why I felt that I wanted to read these, but I got them from the library, so I will be taking them back here pretty soon. And I just really enjoyed them. I have quite a bit of manga out from the library as well that I was hoping to get to this weekend, but this was just what was calling me. Hopefully I'll get to those this next week because I have to go back. I was trying to get some series in this. So this is not a series for sure, but I think it's most of her books that are like this. So I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if that counts. Doesn't matter. I really enjoy those. They were fun, easy reads. Just a couple hours of reading all those. That was fun. When I should have been finishing Dance with the Devil by Kit Rocha. This is the 3rd book in the Mercenary Librarian series. And I finished this series. I'm so glad. This is a series that I read the first book, and then I had to wait, for the second book. And then I didn't read the second book when it came out last year because I read the first book close to then because I was like, oh, I gotta read it before the next book comes out. And I read it and decided, oh yes, I'm gonna continue. And then I got the second book, and then I didn't read it, and then I read it just in August. In August when I went on vacation, I took it. So so the 3rd book came out while I was on vacation in August. So I had this, and so I knew this was one in September I wanted to pick up because I wanted to read it pretty close to when I read the other, because I had reread the first book and then read the second book, and then wanted to read this one. So this one concludes this series, even though this too also left a lot of open-ended. I hated the epilogue. For me, it was too open-ended of something that could go wrong, something that could happen in the future that could go wrong, and I didn't like that. So it's that part I didn't like. Everything else I loved about this. I really enjoyed this book. Of the 3, I don't know, I like this one and The Devil You Know quite a bit. I might have enjoyed this one slightly more, only because it was the conclusion and so many things were happening, but I really liked book 2. Book 1 is never going to be a favorite due to one of the tropes in there, of a lying trope that happens too long in the book. And whenever that happens, I always knock stars off of things because I hate that. But these ones are, this was much more everything coming together, and then the big battle scene at the end. This is great post-apocalyptic action adventure kind of books. We're following all 3 books are following 3 women who are enhanced in some sort of way, and they are trying to build the community in Atlanta that has been is after flares have taken out most of the world. Certain areas of the country have been taken over by different groups. Tech Corps is the one that's in charge of Atlanta, Georgia, and they kind of rule that whole southern area. And they're fighting against them, kind of just to so people could live normally and not be, starving and things. And they're community oriented kind of thing, but they're mercenary librarians because they're trying to build community and trying to build libraries and things so people can learn how to reintroduce things that everybody used to be able to do before the flares. And so it's very, but the thing is mostly it's about action. And then they meet a group of, in the first book, we meet the Silver Devils, who are a group of soldiers who work for Tech Corps. And then they have things going on in the first book that then leads all the way through these 3 books to its conclusion, or at least I believe its conclusion. I'm pretty sure it's just a trilogy. The way the ending is, I'm like, wait, what? So I don't know if they're going to do a spin-off series or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like it should, but hey, whatever. I really enjoyed this. The main couple in this one, Danny and Raph, were some of my favorite characters from the beginning. So I really enjoyed this one and getting to know them more, because we get to be more in their heads. There's like perspective changes a lot. There's a couple, not everybody, a few of them get perspectives in here for certain reasons to move the plot along. So I thought that was done. So there's multi-perspective, but it's mostly following the 2 main characters and their story. And I really, really enjoyed this, the way the things happened and how they went. A little brutal in the end, but I did overall enjoy this book, and I finished it last night. I kept telling myself I was going to read it early and get it done early so I could start the next book, but nope. I wasted most of the day doing other, I read those comics. So I don't know. It took me a while. But anyway, I really enjoyed this book, and I'm glad I finished it. So yes, I finished 3 series and caught up on the Wait for Children series all in 1 week. I think I did pretty good. Anyway, so what am I reading now? So I am listening to another audiobook. I'm still listening to Avadons Gate. I did put this aside when I decided to do The Galaxy and the Ground Within. So I've come back to this. I'm still only about 67 pages in. So this week I'm going to try to focus on this. I do not think I'm going to finish it this week unless I have a couple days where I can listen to audiobooks a lot. It's not an audiobook I can listen to really all the time either. Again, hold in. Well, anyway, so this is the 3rd book in the Expanse series, which is a space opera that takes place within the our solar system, and it's people who are on the moon and on Earth and on Mars and in the belt. They all have different perspectives on, how things should be done, and there's also this kind of contagion element that's coming from the other books, and so it's just continuing on, and things are kind of weird with Holden, and he's having trouble right now. So, I'm not sure what's going on with that. And then we've met a couple other people that I'm not sure how they connect yet either. So, we'll see how this goes. As I said, I've heard good and bad things about this one. Some people say this is a really good one, and other people say this is one of the worst ones. I don't know, but point is I do want to get through this. I was supposed to read this earlier this year, just never got to it. So I read the 2nd book, Caliban's War, last September. So that was why I was trying to get to at least this September. So, because again, the 9 books are now out and I'd like to continue. And this is only book 3. So I'm working on that. And the audiobook is done by Jeffrey Mays, which is really, he does a really good job. So last night I picked up For the Wolf by Hannah Winton. So this is my last book that I have. That's the last book in a series that I haven't completed that I can think of. There might be something I'm not thinking of, but I'm pretty sure every other series I have multiple books and not one book and then it's done. So I think this is the last one I have that I want to get done in September. That is the last book in a series. So For the Wolf is the 2nd book. For the Throne is the 2nd book in the Wilderwood duology with For the Wolf, which is right there. And I really loved For the Wolf, and I even reread it in June in anticipation of getting this in June, and then I just have not had time to pick it up. I just kept putting it aside. It's been sitting there waiting for me to read it. So I'm like, okay, I have to read this. I keep putting it off and there's no reason to. So this one follows the first sister who is for the throne, And the second sister is For the Wolf, which is the way the thing goes. Anyway, so in the first book, we're following Roderys, who's the second daughter of the queen, and when there's a second daughter, she is sacrificed to the woods and to the wolf. And so she is sent on her, I think it was 20th or 21st birthday, she's sent into the woods, and she is considered a sacrifice. And when she goes, it goes no way anybody ever expected, and the things that she learns, and nothing is what the first sister and the queen thought when the when Red goes into the woods, what happens there. So this is following after the aftermath of the first book, which I can't talk about, but the first sister finds herself in a place she did not expect to find herself, and she is coming to terms with things that she did in the first book, as well as what she needs to do in the second book to maybe get back with her sister. So we'll see what happens. As I said, I just started. I've only read 16 pages. So that's all I could read last night before bed. But this is the book I'm going to focus on in the early part of this week. So I'm hoping to get this done as fast as possible. And then I still have The Black Coast to read. And I don't know if I'm going to pick this up again. Again, this is epic fantasy about a place on the coast where the raiders, who usually come every couple of years to raid them, come at an off season, and so it's kind of weird, and they come, and they're coming as refugees because something's going on in their part of the world, and it's going to be dealing with political stuff going on in the rest of the region, as well as the refugees with people that they've come to, that they used to raid and now are going to have to live with. I do like this. I'm not in an epic fantasy mood to this scale yet, so this might be one I wait till November to come back to, or December. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point is, I really like the characters. I'm not picking this up, and I don't. It's me. It's not this book. It's written really well and really straightforward. I really want to. I know I can get into it. I'm not focusing on this. So I think this is gonna probably be put aside for right now, but still on my currently reading, and I'll come back to it. Unless, again, after I finish For the Wolf, if I feel like I want to read that, I will read that. But I'm pretty sure the next book I'll pick up is Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson, which is the second book in Mistborn Arrow 2. I'm meant to read this month to keep on track before the fourth book comes out in November, which, again, I'm early on the holds list on the library, so I'm probably going to get it at the end of November. So I have to make sure I read the other books beforehand. So I really enjoyed The Alloy of Law. It was nothing that I expected, I don't think. So this is 300 years on from when the first Mistborn era 1 took place, and so we're following Wax, who is come back from being in the roughs, and he's trying to take over his family's estate and stuff in the big town, which I can't remember what they called it. And so he's trying, being more of a nobleman than he was before, and things just kind of go, things that are going on in town that has to do with stuff, and he is pulled into working with Wayne, which is one of his counterparts who is in the roughs. So I don't know, after what happened in the first book, where it left, how far we got into it. And again, it was very much a mystery, action, a mystery. So it was fun. I'm not sure how the other books are. They're all going to be like that, where they'll have a mystery within each book and then it continues on, kind of thing. So I don't know what this one's about beyond that. The characters, there's a lot of characters that we met in the first book that I'm looking forward to getting more of. And again, I do want to read this. So anyway, so that is it right now. Those are the books I finished. I did really good, as I said, for Series September. I finished 3 books, caught up on another one. I'm going to read one more final book, which is great. And then the other books, as I said, I'd love to finish Avadons Gate, and then either read The Black Coast or Shadows of Self. It'll just see how I feel after For the Wolf. But we're going to see how we go. Those are kind of, and then who knows, by the weekend, I'm hoping to start on other books, but I might be carrying over whatever the last book is into the weekend of September, or October, to finish out my whatever series book I'm working on. So, I mean, really, overall, for series, I've done really well. So just real quick, we're going to mark my little board that's getting overloaded. But then I'll get to clear it off after next week. So I finished 3 books. I continued with 1. So that's pretty good, I think. None of them were big. One was an ebook. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I think, as I said, yeah, we'll see. I mean, a series, I mean, again, I knew I was going to get a lot of series. Again, series this year has been my, what I've been, focusing on. So I've done really good. And again, I was hoping for a week where I would just knock out all of the last books in series, and I've done really well. So I'm hoping, let's get the last one done that I have. And then I need to work on more series to get closer to the end and not just have read the first book, which is typically like most of the series on my shelves, which again, might be another project for another day. Anyway, so what are you guys reading? How is your reading going this week? It was a good reading week. I really enjoyed this. So anyway, I think that's it. Anyway, I'm already looking forward to all the Victober stuff. Everybody's put up their stuff. As I said, my video is already out for that. And then, as I said, I'll have another video for all the other books I would like to get to that you guys might have to help me narrow down. We'll see. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.